Good morning, sir. My name is Njitsu Fu, a member of Group 10 Cybersecurity. We have a topic server-side request forgery. So, what is a server-side request forgery? A server-side request forgery is a cyber attack wherein an attacker forces or tricks the server into making unauthorized requests on its behalf. So, this is a brief overview of what our topic is all about. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is David Caleb. I'll be talking about how server-side request forgery is being done internally, works internally. Firstly, the attacker sends a malicious URL instead of a normal one. The server trusts the URL and performs a request without any verification. Then the attacker works on the server to request an internal admin panel or private database and other internal services.
My name is Topi Melvin, cybersecurity group number 10. So we're working on server-side request forgery, and this is the simulation. So we began by creating a Flax web app. So this is a Flax web app of the internal service, and this is the another Flax web app for the vulnerable site. So when we open our browser and we search for the local host of the vulnerable site we created, and this is how it appears. We are going to click the URL link. We are going to insert a URL link here. So when we load this URL link, it's going to return this message. As it has returned this message, we know that it has gained access to the internal system. So the vulnerability that we exploited here is that the server blindly accepts the URL link of the user, which is not supposed to. So when it accepts this URL link, it's going to run the URL link in the back end and returns a request. So this is not supposed to be accessed by the outsiders, but this is the vulnerability that we exploited here.
Good morning, sir. I'm a member of Group 10 in cybersecurity. My name is Jukekan Difoloik Deval, and today I want to talk to you about the server-side request forgery. The server-side request forgery have access to the internal network, mostly by using internal services like database or CloudMeta data endpoints, which are not exposed to the public. But with the server-side request forgery, the attacker uses the server as a gateway to penetrate inside the database and the CloudMeta data endpoints.
Good evening, sir. My name is Madonge Jean Leslin. I am here to present on server-side request forgery and how it works. What actually happens is when a hacker tricks a website into doing something on its behalf, on their behalf, instead of attacking a protected system directly, they give the website a fake URL, which looks harmless. Okay, for example, we can take a social media site that lets user upload profile pictures by providing a URL. Okay, actually, what the hacker will do here is the hacker enters a link not to the real picture but to the website internal admin page. Then, since the server is inside the private network, it can open the secret page even though the hacker can't. The server then unknowingly sends back confidential information, admin information. So a simple feature like uploading an image becomes a hidden door into their entire system, all because the server trusted the wrong information, the wrong URL. And this is all about how server-side request forgery works.
Okay. Firstly, we start with example of attack scenarios of server-side request forgery. So first, we start with Postcard Internal Services, sensitive data exposure, access metadata storage cloud and compromise internet services. So from there, I'll deeply elaborate on vulnerabilities of server-side request forgery. Firstly, unvalidated user input. Failing to properly validate user input can allow attacks to inject malicious URLs and IP address. Secondly, insecure IP designs. IP that allow users to secure URLs or IP address without proper validation can be vulnerable to server-side request forgery. Thirdly, misconfigured servers or services. Servers or services that are not properly configured can allow server-side request forgery attacks. For the insufficient network segmentation, failing to segment internal networks can allow server-side request forgery attacks to speed and cause more damage. So from then, I'll just say about some quick prevention. Firstly, use whitelisting. Only allow requests to specify trust domains or IP address. Secondly, implement network segmentation. Segment internet networks to limit the impact of server-side request forgery attacks. Thirdly, monitor and log requests. Monitor and log requests to detect and respond to potential SIRF attacks. And finally, validate user input to ensure that user input validate and sanitize to prevent malicious requests.
So I'm going to talk about how to prevent server-side require forgery. The first point we're going to talk about is disable unnecessary URL fetching. That is preventing backend servers from making unnecessary HTTP requests. Avoid fetching remote content based on users' input unless absolute required. The next point, implement timeout limit. We're going to set timeout and size limit on server requests to prevent abuse. The last point is security patching. That is, you should regularly update your server software frameworks and libraries to fix unknown SSRF vulnerabilities. So those are the points on how to prevent SSRF. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm a member of Group 10 in cybersecurity. My name is Jukekang Difoloik Deval, and today I want to talk to you about the server-side request forgery. The server-side